Hi, I'm here with Arnon Barnes, serial entrepreneur, international speaker, trainer, and coach. Now, Arnon built three successful businesses. He sold his first one at the age of 28 and is financially free. Today, he speaks on international stages, training thousands of people around the world, as well as a coach, and he's a founder of Worldwide Success Partners. So, Arnon, what made you decide from being an entrepreneur to move into the training and coaching space?
For me, first of all, Sharmila, hi, how you doing? Good to be here. Thank you for for making obviously for having the coming and putting this forward, because for me, teaching and training and even speaking, having this opportunity with you, it's always about it being in a position to inspire others. I've come from a place where I've been broke, and I know that there's so many other people there that have struggles, challenges, obstacles that they face on day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year after year after year, and they live in that environment of struggle and challenge. And I always come from a place where if I can, you can. So for me, being a businessman and then going to a bigger stage and saying, how could I share my knowledge and expertise with other people so that they can see that it can be done? There wasn't a more powerful way to do it other than being a trainer, a speaker, a coach. So that's kind of one of the things that inspired me.
And who are some of your mentors that helped you on your journey?
I think one of the first people that actually got me in this direction many years ago was Robert Kiyosaki. I was looking for answers, and one of the first books I actually read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. And this is about 17 years ago. And the funny thing is, just a couple of months ago, I shared the stage with Robert Kiyosaki himself, which was almost like a closed circle.
Yeah.
So Robert Kiyosaki had a major impact on my entrepreneurial endeavors, if you will, and he's definitely someone who I relate to and look up to in terms of what he's done and his message and his story. Yeah.
And interesting, you mentioned his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. What are, let's say, 5 books that have really made the greatest impact in your leadership?
Yeah. So, like I said, Rich Dad Poor Dad was for me was the foundation. That's where I started.
Yeah.
Another great book that I read was a book by James Caan. James Caan is an English serial entrepreneur. He is very famous from the TV show Dragon's Den.
Yes.
And he wrote a book called The Real Deal. And I really got inspired by his story. He came from a very, very below middle class family, and he ended up selling his company that he built up in the UK, something like 120 million pounds. And he's just a respectful, down to earth gentleman with great value. So that was a book that really got me inspired. Richard Branson has inspired me with his book, Screw It, Let's Do It. That's a really cool one. Another two, I think Keith Cunningham wrote a great book in How to Build an Insanely Successful Business, The Blueprint, How to Build an Insanely Successful Business. And another great book was, for me, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. T. Harv Eker, I attended his programs, but his book, I think it was a big inspiration just to get a different angle of how he sees things, and it opened my mind up to more of the psychology behind wealth. So I think those were 5 major books for me. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And what I found speaking to yourself and other entrepreneurs is mindset plays a very big role in driving them forward. So for yourself, Anna, what are some of the daily rituals that you go through to help you in that space?
Great question. So for me, one of the key things that I do every morning is gratitude. I have a gratitude journal, and I believe that for me, one of the things that helps me filling in a gratitude journal on a day-to-day basis helps me shift my energy and focus on the things that I do have and the blessings that I do have in my life. That's a ritual that I've embraced and that I continue to do, and I'll continue to do till the rest of my days. Gratitude journal is a very powerful thing. Another thing I do for me, which really helps me, is I drink a lot of water with lemon, especially early in the morning. There's a certain element of purification, of cleansing the mind. Another thing that really helps me in the morning is actually just switching off and just taking a few moments to myself even before I get out of bed, just to visualize my day, how I want my day to play out. And that's, I think, been a very powerful tool for me in terms of envisioning how I see my day unfolding, but also closing the gap on my goals.
Great. And one final question. If you were to give one piece of advice to budding entrepreneurs out there, what would that be?
Don't be afraid to lose control. Don't be afraid to lose control of your business. Don't be afraid to build a team and delegate and give responsibilities to other people. I see so many people have got great ideas, great concepts, great plans, but they're afraid to build a team because they want to be in control.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of releasing control. And one thing I've come to understand over and over again, and watching the greatest entrepreneurs on planet Earth, is that everything great that was ever achieved, it was achieved by a team. And I noticed that a lot of entrepreneurs get into business and they stay the one-man show. But to grow, you've got to be able to relinquish control and trust other people. So I would say to entrepreneurs, if you're building a business, you want to build an incredibly successful business, don't be afraid to lose control in your business. Delegate, outsource, and trust the people around you.
Thank you very much, Arnon. And this is Sharmila Susepele, real estate entrepreneur, international speaker, and coach.